Ohio State has announced that they are returning to voluntary workouts, which is a swift turnaround. We got to talk about it after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You got to help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. I just got off one. I am very sweaty doing this upload. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. See, you can tell all I do is work and read because I am here talking about this almost immediately because this press release is kind of outstanding and not necessarily like outstanding, like good job, but like just bizarre. So we're going to get to the press release, which is the news. Then we'll get to the opinion here in a second. But this is the press release tweeted by one Bill Landis, who covers Ohio State for The Athletic. Based on advice of medical professionals and the results testing on Monday of all student athletes currently in training, the Ohio State University Department of Athletics announced today, that is Tuesday, that they will resume voluntary training operations after a suspension announced last week. All student athletes from the 7 sports that returned last month to voluntary workouts were tested on Monday, and the results were received today. The last round of testing was July 7th, resulting in the suspension of training on July 8th. Ohio State Athletic Director Gene Smith said the athletes will be tested routinely moving forward, and training decisions will continue to be reevaluated by medical staff to protect the health and safety of students. A strict set of protocols are in place requiring physical distancing, mask, hygiene, and cleaning procedures. Our Buckeyes, and this is in quotes, are excited to be headed into a school year and were disappointed last week when we had to temporarily suspend training, Smith said. These young people come from across the nation and the world to be a part of our Ohio State family, and we do everything we can to create a safe, healthy environment so that they have a chance to study and compete. Our medical team will continue to evaluate, and we will share decisions as we move forward. To protect the individual medical privacy of the student athletes, the university will not release information about test results, which is shady because everybody else is doing it and everybody else follows the same sort of guidelines and laws as Ohio State. But teams with student athletes on campus taking part in training activities are men's and women's basketball, field hockey, football, men's and women's soccer, and women's volleyball. Did in alphabetical order because they know that football is always going to be all caps no matter where you put it in a list of sports. It means that Justin Fields, Shaun Wade, and the like are all going back to voluntary workouts, and we're supposed to start preseason training here in just a couple of weeks' time, where everybody's going to be on the same 6-week schedule that was determined by the FBS Division I Football Oversight Committee. Now, few things here, because I have a monologue coming out a little bit later on about how I feel about the poor and black kids who are having to play college football. And I get that many of them want to play. And I want to put that aside for a second because sometimes we talk about these kids like they're adults, and they are adults, and they do deserve to make a decision. If they make a decision that puts them in harm's way, we treat it the same. That said, we have athletic directors, conference commissioners, and head coaches who are responsible for their well-being and for whom they set procedure and rules to follow. I'm not certain that this is the best course of action, right? I want football as much as anybody else. I started this channel talking about college football. I want to talk about college football. I love college football. I also love the idea of people being safe and wanting to pursue this in some sort of MacGyver kind of fashion where you're building scaffolding that you think is going to create something like a bubble, but basically doesn't, because one, large groups of people spread the virus. And a large group of people is the 100 plus that is on an FBS football team, of which we have 130. And then you take a look at how the virus is spreading and who it's spreading to. It is disproportionately affecting black and poor communities. 48.5% of FBS football players are black, and not a lot of them come from affluent communities. But even so, because of how they might have come up and where they live, they're more subject to this virus, which means they're more subject to bringing it home. Now, you can make the argument that they're safer in a campus environment, but you could just easily see that campus environment becoming a set of matches. So if you will, take a match and stick it in a box, right? The likelihood of that match being struck, not a whole lot, okay? That's the equivalent of putting a student athlete into a university being the box, the athlete being the match. However, if a single match catches fire near the box of matches, the whole box of matches goes up in smoke like that. And that is what you're playing with. You're quite literally playing with fire. And you're playing with fire to keep the money turning over. We have the data to show that nobody's going to be okay and everybody stands to lose money, and even more money if we don't have football in the fall, let alone having football in the spring. Iowa State Athletic Director Jamie Pollard has been tremendously transparent on this notion, and he has said we're trying to play football to offset the financial cost of what it takes to run the athletic department, which means that you are saying we are putting these human lives in more danger than is necessary so that we can make sure that we have the money coming in. Now, this is falling to the athletic directors and the conference commissioners and the college football coaches because we have governments that either will take a hard stance on this or won't, but nobody wants to go up against the multi-billion-dollar aspects of college football because everybody needs to have the money turning over. I want them to admit that. I want to see Ohio State play for national championships. I don't want to see that whole box of matches go up in smoke, okay? Because one virus quickly becomes a multitude of players. And as much as I want to do a segment, and probably will do a segment about Paris Johnson being able to go both ways and what that might look like if you get a rash of cases, being able to isolate those cases for 14 days and then give appropriate treatment is even more money you have to spend. And the bill comes due. So who's going to pay the bill? So as Ohio State goes back to working out, bear in mind the affected populations. And if it came to your door, how would you feel? Right? Everybody's got something to lose in this, and everybody's got skin in the game on this. So everybody's opinion is valid, but I do want to present you with those facts. Just as this channel is my viewpoint. This is not a network, right? This is me talking to you, you talking to me in the comments. You yell at me, I yell back. We get it. We're community, we're family, we get it going. All right, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Deuces.